Hello, this is Roger from Movie Blocks, and this is a behind-the-scenes look on my little movie Floyd Makes a Potion. And I'm brand new to Minecraft. I've only had it for a couple weeks, and I had such a blast making this movie. I learned so much about skins and maps or saves. I learned about mods and all kinds of things. So I thought I'd just show you what I learned, and this is really useful if you're new. If you're old hat at this, then this stuff's going to be pretty basic, but let's just dig into it. So first I made a world or a map or a save, whatever you want to call it. And at first I made it in creative mode, and I made four little sets. And I realized I didn't really need to do that for my four scenes. I could just copy my map over and over. So I learned that a little later, and I want to show you how to do that. If you go to Start and type in Run, you're going to get your little run window here, and you want to type in %appdata%, and this is going to take you to the app data Minecraft folder. You hit OK, and you'll see a little .minecraft. That's it. You go in and you'll see a folder called Saves. Well, as you can imagine, those are all my saved games. And all I did is took the one that I made, and I copied it, and I made a bunch of copies of it. And I made a lava one, a falling one, a TNT one. And after I got my four maps in the way that I wanted them, I just selected them, copied them, and I put it in this folder called Map Backups. And that turned out to be so useful for me, because after I exploded my map or whatever, I didn't want to have to rebuild it. I could just go to my backup and repaste this backup into my saves folder. I'm good to go. Alright, so that's a handy folder to know. And so when I came in here, let me just show you how I did some of these things. So I have two accounts, and I had one account that was a director account. Let me expand this here, or the cameraman. And if you click on F1, the key F1, it hides your heads-up display so that you can just take a screen capture and produce that, right? And so one guy was the cameraman, and my second account was the actor, or was Floyd, and he came in the door and he did his thing. Now, I only had two accounts, and I wanted to do this by myself, so I didn't have another person coming in helping me. So I needed to be able to activate the special effects, as it were, with the actor himself. And so I made a little redstone circuit with his switches underneath each of my sets. And so he's doing his abracadabra stuff, reaches down and activates that, and the water comes in, or the thing explodes, or however. And so let me just show you how I made that. First off, what I would do is I have the water behind here being held back by a piston. Now, a piston can retract and expand, and if it retracts, all that water is going to come in and flood my place like it did in the movie. And so I'll show you. Activate, and there it goes. Now I have to reset it by plugging that up, and it washes away my switch. So I put my switch back on. There I go. So let me show you the circuit for this. Underneath, this guy is activated. There's this redstone which acts like kind of like a wire, an electric wire, and it goes all the way through. And all I did was make it go up and activate the piston, and you see I have a little pool of water behind the house here. And you'll notice that my set is built high up. I built it up several blocks because I recognized I would need redstone circuitry, and I didn't want to have to dig underneath the ground and all that stuff. So I just lifted them up, which is cool, and it worked out really well. So that is the water level. Let me show you the next level. The next one I did was the falling, and this actually was my most complex circuit. I won't get fully into the circuit right now. I'm just going to show you. There's some dying stuff down there. But with the falling, I basically have the switch again, and notice there's some gravel here. So what I did is I have three sticky pistons underneath the counter. So as soon as he hits the switch, the three sticky pistons, and a sticky piston holds onto the block above it, they pull the wood down. They pull the wood down, and three of them, and then underneath I have a piston that just opens up. It retracts and drops the gravel, because gravel obeys the laws of gravity, and it would fall, and Floyd could fall into the ground. So you can see up here I have 1, 2, 3 pistons up top, some pistons on below for the gravel, and I'd activate them. Now there are these things called repeaters, and they add a delay, so I can right click and specify more or less delay. And I did that because I didn't want all the blocks to go down at once. I wanted them to have a timing, a 1, 2, 3 punch, and then he would fall. And so it worked out quite well, and I'll show you that now. So I just click. I have to make sure I'm standing on the gravel, right? Just click on that. 1, 2, 3, and goodbye. And so Floyd falls down. So that's how I did that. And you know, if you want a longer explanation, I'm sure I could give that to you, but I'll move along to the next map. The next two are really simple. Lava was just like water, except with water, I put water up in the middle because if water was on the first square, it only trickled around the sides of the counter, and I didn't want that. I want water to flow in. So I noticed if I put it higher up on the wall, it flowed in much better. But lava I did not want to flow in. I didn't want the cameraman to know that lava was flowing here. I just wanted Floyd to turn on fire. So what I did, as you can see, I put little blocks on each side so lava wouldn't flow all over the place. So when I turn it on, it just comes straight on in and touches Floyd's foot and turns him on fire. Ah! Just like that. And it's the same exact redstone circuitry as you saw with the water. It just goes underneath and up to the little lava bin at the back of the house. Right there. Okay? So the last one was TNT, which was the simplest. Now you may have noticed one of these worlds that I made, 3 of them are in the air, 1 of them is on the ground. And the reason I put TNT on the ground is when it exploded, I wanted to show a big cavernous crater. That wouldn't work if it was in the air, right? You'd see that it was up in the air. So with TNT, I put 2 TNT in just one little redstone line. So when I hit that, it would activate the TNT. I also carved away all of the stone blocks because I found, and I don't know if this is true, it seemed to me that stone blocks don't explode as easily as, say, dirt. And so I just put dirt around here, and it made my explosion a little more dramatic, I think. So if I click that, both TNTs are going, and sayonara, goodbye cruel world, and Floyd gets exploded. So those are the maps. Let me show you. Now, because I needed both a cameraman and an actor, I had to run this on a server. And I'm not sure if you haven't done servers, it's actually quite easy. You can go to the Minecraft site, and you can just download the Minecraft server, and I put mine in a folder called Minecraft server. Right there. And simple enough, right? So the key is how to bring over your maps. So I went to one of my backup maps, right? And I would grab, let's say, Alchemy TNT, because I just exploded the one. I go to my backup map. You want to paste it in your folder where the Minecraft server is at. And I'll go ahead and delete this water one. And there's a file called server.properties, and that's very important. You want to open that file up, and you want to tell the level under level-name equals, you want to type in the exact name of the level that you've just put in there. So mine was alchemy-TNT, so that it knows to look at that map. And also I put game mode equals 0. I wanted mine in survival mode and instead of creative mode, which I may explain why in a second. So once that's ready, you just double click the Minecraft server, it starts to run, we're ready to go. It runs, it generates the level, and mine was on my own computer, so I clicked on multiplayer, direct connect, and I just typed localhost, and I joined the server, and I'm here. So that's how you do a server, and I could have 2, 3, 4 accounts log into it, and that's great. Now, if it wasn't on my computer, if I had my server on a different computer, I would have to put the IP address in here of that, or the server address in there, 192.168.1.101 or whatever that is. You'll have to figure that out, what that is for your server. So that's how I did the multiplayer. Now I just wanted to show you why I did it in creative mode. So I'm sorry, why I filmed it in not creative mode. I filmed it in survival mode. I created it in creative mode, but in creative mode I wanted Floyd to wave his little magic wand, right? So I gave him a little redstone torch, and that was his wand, and he could wave it around. Now when I'm clicking in open space, it looks to me like I'm waving, but I noticed that to other people it didn't look like I was waving the wand. It just looks normal. I'd actually have to touch a block in order for his arm to do a waving motion. But in creative mode, if you touch any block, it just explodes it, right? So my whole thing would just explode. Oh, here comes the lava. So that wouldn't work. That is why I made my multiplayer server property set to survival mode, which is game mode equals 0 instead of game mode equals 1. and so that's why I did it in survival mode. Lastly, let me just tell you about the skins. You can make your own skin and upload them to the Minecraft site, so that's great. There's a great little site called minershoes.com. I recommend it. It has a little guy here, and you can rotate him and see. You see I've already started playing with him. I can take any color and sort of, write with it, and you can make yourself a little guy, and it shows you what's the front of the head, what's the back of the head, what's the body, the legs, the hands. He even has a hat, and this is something I learned. I didn't know you can make a hat. So there's a little hat area. And so you could either just paint it here, or you could download it and use another program. And simply, I just did it inside of Paint. Let me stop my server here. I just did it right inside of Paint, and I saved a bunch of little Floyd PNG images. So let's zoom in here to see Floyd. So actually later I gave him a red shirt, but right here, here's Floyd, and I just made his little face and his ears, his little body with the overalls, etc. And then here's with his bandages. You can see I have the bandages for a hat, for his head bandage, his feet, and his arm bandages. And then the burned one was kind of fun, because all I did was take in Paint. I just took a black crayon and I just rubbed over it, and it made like he'd gotten charred. So that worked out really well. Uploaded it, and he had all these different skins that he did throughout the day. That was great. The last thing I wanted to say before I close this off is that I did make my own music for this, and I recommend. I got this Linux Multimedia Studio, and it was free. You can. I'll put the link into the comments, or in the description rather. And I made my little tuba song right in it, and it was great. And so I just wanted to show you that. So here's my little tuba song. Let me open my project here, and I can hit play. And I've got this whole where all the notes you can do, and it just goes along. So if you know anything about music, it's great to have a program like this to do it yourself, and in my own rights, right? So there we go. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this, please subscribe. Please leave any comments. If you can think of things to do better than what I did, I'm sure you can. Please leave them in the comments. And thanks a lot. I hope to do a lot more of these, both videos and how-tos. Take care.